Hi there, welcome to another Basics of the Bible video. My name is Christopher Scott, and if you're new to these videos, I've been doing a series of 75 videos going Genesis through Revelation, talking about basics of the biblical books. And so in the description down there, there is a link to a playlist where all 75 of those videos are free for you to watch and learn from. So today, in this video, we're going to look at the Book of Nehemiah. The Book of Nehemiah. We're going to look at the Book of Nehemiah. And the one-word description I've given for Nehemiah is rebuilding. Rebuilding. And Nehemiah is part of the grouping of books we know as the historical books. So there's a video introducing the historical books I'll put up there for you in the ID cards that you're welcome to watch. So Nehemiah, one-word description is rebuilding. While the book of Ezra that I've talked about before, there's a link up there, while the book of Ezra focuses on rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem, the book of Nehemiah focuses on rebuilding the walls around Jerusalem. Both of the books have the same theme, though, to keep Israel unique, distinct, and holy, based on Exodus chapter 19, verses 3 through 6. So God tells them, I want you to be unique and distinct and holy. So Ezra goes back to the land to restore order in the temple. Nehemiah goes back to rebuild the walls around the city of Jerusalem. Ezra accomplished this method of getting Israel to be unique and distinct and holy by teaching the law. Nehemiah helped them remain unique and distinct and holy by building the walls around Jerusalem. Okay, and there's a few key verses for this book I think summarize what the book is all about. There's actually 4 verses that I believe are key verses. The first 2 verses are in chapter 2, verses 17 and 18. Nehemiah 2, 17 and 18. And this is when Nehemiah has first arrived in Jerusalem. He's assessing the scene and trying to get everybody ready to go to work. Nehemiah gathers some groups of people there in Jerusalem, and it says, Then I said to them, that's Nehemiah speaking, then I said to them, you see the bad situation we are in, that Jerusalem is desolate and its gates burned by fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, so that we will no longer be a reproach. I told them how the hand of my God had been favorable to me, and also about the kings whose words had been spoken to me. Then they said, let us arise and build. So they put their hands to the good work. That's the first 2 key verses that I believe are in the book, where Nehemiah gets them together, he's sharing his vision, and then they start to do the ministry. Then in chapter 6, verses 15 through 16, it says this, So the wall was completed on the 25th day of the month, Elul, in 52 days, when all our enemies heard of it, and all the nations surrounding us saw it, they lost their confidence, for they recognized that this work had been accomplished with the help of our God. So good things happened with the help of their God. They accomplished the rebuilding around the city. Those are the key verses. And I got the notes down there in the description in case you want to follow along as well. Those are provided to you for free. So the author, let's go into some of the more technical details of this book. The author of the book, we don't really know for sure, but most likely it was written based on Nehemiah's own personal memoirs. So he possibly wrote this book himself, or maybe someone came along a little later and edited it slightly. The audience that it is written to, obviously, is the group of Jews that are back in the city of Jerusalem. So there's some history that we might need to back up and look at. So in 931 BC, King Solomon dies and his son Rehoboam takes the throne. And when Rehoboam takes the throne, the nation of Israel splits in 2. Israel stays in the north, they become their own nation, and then Judah becomes their own nation in the south with 2 tribes. So there's 10 tribes in the north, Israel, then there's 2 tribes in the south. But in 722 BC, Assyria comes and they conquer Judah. That's in 722 BC. And then the nation of Babylon conquers Assyria, and then Babylon comes to Judah in 605 BC, 597 BC, and 586 BC, and conquers and levels Jerusalem. And those conquests of Judah by Babylon in 605, 597, 586 is where we get, the book of Daniel is based on that 605 conquering of Judah. And then Ezekiel is based on 597. Ezekiel gets taken back. And then Jeremiah and Lamentations is based on 586. They write during those times. And so under the Babylonians get conquered by the Persians. And King Cyrus comes along as the king of Persia in 538 BC, and he tells the Jews living in Persia that you all can go back to your land and you can establish yourselves and live there again and start your religion as worshipers of God, the one God, Yahweh. And so there's a group of people, 50,000 of them return in 538 BC. They leave under King Cyrus, and they arrive in Jerusalem under Zerubbabel, the leader Zerubbabel. That's where we have the chapters 1 through 6 of Ezra. That's that first wave, 536. And then there's a 60-year gap between chapters 6 and 7 of Ezra. That's where Esther shows up. And then there's chapters 7 through 12 that happen, and that's under Ezra, the man Ezra. And then Nehemiah is a contemporary of Ezra. They knew each other. They both did ministry in Jerusalem together. So that's a little historical background for you to connect some of those books together. And I'll put the link to the Book of Ezra up there if you haven't watched that. That'll give you some great historical background for the things happening. So, like I said, Nehemiah returned in 444 BC is when he came from Persia to Jerusalem. But the book of Ezra took place in 538. So this is 90 years later, roughly. Almost 100 years later, it took place. What other things I want to share with you? The outline that I've created for the book. I outline the book in 3 sections. Chapters 1 and 2 is about recognizing the need. Nehemiah is helping the people recognize the need. Then chapters 3 through 7 are about rebuilding the walls. Chapters 3 through 7 are about rebuilding the walls. And then chapters 8 through 13 are about restoring the people to proper worship of God. Another couple outlines I really like. One is from Ken Hanna's book, Moses to Malachi. He says chapters 1 through 7 are about construction of the wall. Chapters 8 through 10 are about consecration of the people. And then chapters 11 through 13 are consolidation of the work. Or I really like Ryrie's notes that he has in the Ryrie Study Bible. He says chapters 1 through 7 are rebuilding the walls under Nehemiah. Chapters 8 through 10, renewing the covenant under Ezra. And like I said, Ezra and Nehemiah were contemporaries. They lived around the same time. And then chapters 11 through 13 are reforming the nation. That's from Ryrie's Study Bible. And I have links to Ryrie's Study Bible and the book I mentioned from Moses to Malachi by Ken Hanna in the description down there. They're fantastic Bible study resources, and you're welcome to purchase those on your own from Amazon. I have links there. They are affiliate links, so that if you do purchase something, I do get a small commission that goes to help make these videos. So just to let you know and be transparent, I do make a commission, but those are great resources that I just showed you. I actually have copies of each right here that I've been using to help me study and make these videos. So that is an introduction to the book of Nehemiah. It's about rebuilding the walls and rebuilding the city back in their relationship with God. My name's Christopher Scott. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, I would love to have you subscribe to my monthly email newsletter. Down there in the first comment on this video, there's a link where you can subscribe to that monthly email newsletter where I promise I only send you 1 email a month. And in that email, I give you links to the articles that were published the previous month in various magazines that I write for, as well as links to my newest YouTube videos. So thanks again for watching. I hope to catch you again soon on another video.